Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Paul Hutchings coming to you with episode 119 of The Good Parts. Hope you're having an amazing day today. The Good Parts, if you're finding me for the first time, is a social media show where I go live once a day, Monday through Friday, to share one good part from my life and or business in an effort to help you and me create more success, freedom, happiness, prosperity, goodness, joy, abundance, all the good life has to offer. And in today's episode, I wanted to share with you some advice that I gave to my teenage son last week that I think is relevant for life in general, and finding success in whatever it is that we're doing. Got an emergency alert on my phone. There was a guy this morning that went missing and got an alert, and they just let me know they found him. So, woo, good news. But anyway, this little piece of advice I think is relevant for success in all aspects of life. And I'm so excited to say hello, Bill Fever. He commented before I went live and said, waiting for Paul. So excited on what's in store for today. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that so much. And good morning to you, and good morning to Veronique over in Belgium. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate all of my return viewers. I love you guys. And, definitely let me know your thoughts down below. So I'm going to get into this topic. So basically, here's what happened. Last week, I heard one of my sons, who shall remain nameless for the purpose of this episode, because I don't want to embarrass him. But I heard my son, hey, Steven, good to see you, from Wisconsin. I heard my son singing out loud. So my wife and I were laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and we heard this singing coming from the other room. And so I started to sing along with him, and then he came in and he's like, hey, knock it off, And we were talking about this habit we've noticed in one of my kids of just singing through the house. My younger son said, yeah, the other night it was like 3 a.m. and I heard my brother singing out loud in his bedroom. And so my son, he likes to sing, apparently. And so the other night I went into his room before bed, and I said, hey, would you like to take some singing lessons? And he said, heck no. And I said, well, gee, it seems like you like to sing. Why would you not want to develop that talent? And he said, Dad, the kids at school would humiliate me if they knew I was taking singing lessons. And I said, so you're going to stop your development of something that you enjoy doing because you're fearing what other people might say or think about your development? And he says, Dad, you just don't understand. He said, in high school, the kids are ruthless. And he said, Dad, there was this one time where this girl got up in front of the whole auditorium and she sang a song and she played an instrument, and everyone around me was laughing at her. And I said, well, did she do a good job? And he's like, yeah, she was pretty good, but people still laughed at her. And I said to my son, I said, well, is it possible? I said, why do you think they were laughing at this girl? And he said, I don't know. I said, do you think it's possible that they were a little jealous of this girl's talent, and that in their laughing, it kind of gave them a sense of superiority, that they were somehow better than this girl? And he's like, yeah, that might be the case, Dad. But I still don't want to take singing lessons. And so I had this conversation with him where I said, son, on my journey, there have been times where people around me have said things, have expressed their opinions on what I was doing, that had I chosen to live into their opinions of what they thought I should do, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. And I gave them an example. I said, when I first started on the road to financial freedom, as you know, son, one of the things that your mom and I chose to do was to live in a single wide mobile home so we could pay off the loan and then save a bunch of money and kind of get ahead financially. And I said, do you know, son, that there were relatives around us that said that was a terrible thing to do, that I was putting my family in a bad position? There was a lady at church that one time said to your mom, are you guys staying warm in that little trailer? Kind of like with the implication that we were somehow suffering, living in this trailer house. And I said, son, if we'd have listened to that advice and just went out and got a big loan and got a big house, we might not be in the comfortable financial position we're in right now. Do you understand how that works? And he says, yeah, I kind of see that. And I said to my son, I said, in life, we have to conform in some way. Jim Rohn said, you got to care, but not too much. And earlier on in my entrepreneurial career, I used to think that, what other people thought didn't matter at all. I just needed to do what I wanted to do. Everyone else be darned. And nowadays, I kind of look at it in a different way. I see the conformity of people as sort of like a balance, like we have to conform in some way. And what I mean by that is, if you're building a business, for example, you want to attract customers, you want to attract people to you, you have to conform yourself in some way so that you'll be valuable to the people that you want to attract. Now, do you have to conform yourself in all ways to all people? No, right? There are other people that might not be on your path, that might not be your customers, that might not be your target market. And you don't want to conform to what they think. You don't want to have to follow their opinions. You don't want to have to get permission from them to live your life in the way that you want to live. But you still have to conform in some way. I do these Good Parts episodes every day, Monday through Friday. I'm 118, 119 episodes in. So in doing these Good Parts episodes, I'm doing my best to conform in a way that I want to conform to the people that I want to serve, which are those people who are seeking the best ideas in life, wanting to build freedom, wanting to live a great life. I have to conform in that. I have to take some time out of my day, and I have to do my best to serve those people. So conformity seems to be a balance. We do have to conform in some way. And there's a quote that I wrote down that I want to pass along that I think is a good quote that serves to drive this point home a little bit. And the quote is, "Poor is the soul whose future depends on the opinions and permissions of others." So we have to, I think, decide where it is we want to conform, as I've said. And one potential choice to think about is, do you want to conform to people? And we have to do that a little bit. But I think the best way to conform is to conform to our purpose, to decide what it is that our vision is, how it is that we want to show up in life, who it is that we want to serve. And then we want to conform to that purpose. We want to sculpt ourselves, shape ourselves, inspire ourselves to do the things we need to do to conform to that purpose. And that, I think, is a way to produce great outcomes in life. So, I shared this with my son. I talked to him about in Think and Grow Rich. There's a whole chapter called The 6 Ghosts of Fear. And one of the ghosts of fear is fear of criticism, where we're fearful of what other people might say or think about what it is that we're doing. And on the road to success, this is a demon, that we all will face. What are people going to think? What are people going to say? And on my entrepreneurial journey in online marketing and home-based business, I've seen this demon stop so many people. They will stop what they want to do. They've got this song in their heart that they want to sing, like my son singing out loud in our living room. There's this song they want to sing, but the perception of what everyone else is going to think is so crushing that they conform to that, and then it like stifles that song down and makes it so they can't sing what they want to sing. And so, I just wanted to share this message, give myself and you a reminder that we can conform. We can choose where we're going to conform to our purpose, conform to our vision, conform to the people that we want to serve, and do the best that we can to ignore all of those other opinions and criticisms. And we still want to be nice to those people, and this goes back to where Jim Rohn said, you got to care, but not too much. People that give you opinions that are not helpful to your life path. You don't want to be rude to them. You don't want to make fun of them. You don't want to say they're dumb, but just inside your mind, you have to see that, okay, that's an opinion that is not useful for my life path. It doesn't mean this person's a bad person. It doesn't mean this person is dumb or stupid. It's just that they're on a different life path. And then we kind of learn to recognize those little pieces of information that come to us. And we say, ignore. Okay, here is where I want to conform. Some good advice coming to me. Napoleon Hill said, we want to seek counsel, not opinion, right? What does that mean? I mean, counsel comes from someone who has done what it is that we want to do. So if a mentor gives us some counsel, we want to conform to that counsel if it's good advice, right? So it's not that we just throw off everything and do whatever it is that we want to do and be whoever it is that we want to be without regard to any advice. We want to conform to good advice. We want to conform to truth. We want to conform to good ideas that will help us on our life journey, and all other ideas, just kind of see them for what they are, opinion, brush them off, keep moving forward. This is essential, I think, to living our best lives and doing what it is that we're here on this planet to do. So I hope that thought was of some value to you. And I see some great comments coming in. Deb says, I was just having this conversation with my daughter yesterday. We talked about her in high school and why she was always in trouble. Because you're like me. We care too much about others' opinions. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Deb, and thanks for having those conversations with your daughter. Bill Fever says, such great advice, Paul. Helps improve my perspective for direction in my life. Thank you. Yay, so happy to hear that. You're so welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So if you are finding me for the first time and got value from this episode and want to get more value from me, I would love to encourage you to subscribe to me here on social media. Or I would love to invite you to visit my website and subscribe to my email list. My number one mission in life is freedom through principle-centered leadership. So I want to do the best that I can to help people disconnect their time from their money. And on that page, you'll see a little button that says grow residual income. So if you're in a space where you would like to increase your level of freedom, increase your income and reduce the amount of time that you put in earning that income on a daily basis, I'd love to encourage you to check that business model out. We created it from scratch based on our 40 plus years of combined experience, my business partner and I, to create something that has everything that we love with none of the things that we don't love. And there's some other gifts on that page as well. If you're building a business from home already or doing some sort of entrepreneurial venture already, there's a training series on this page, some lead generation training, some marketing training that has some great advice, some great ideas that really helped me on my journey. You can grab that. The quote that I shared with you today: "Poor is the future. Poor is the soul whose future depends on the permissions and opinions of others." That's a quote that is in a quote collection called Lighthouses for the Soul. That is also on this page. So if you want to grab that, you can grab that. Bottom line, there is a plethora of awesome and amazing gifts that I have on this page that you can grab and subscribe to my email list to make sure you get all of my future content. So with that, I'm going to call it a day and encourage you to get out there, take action, go for your dreams. And I'll be back tomorrow on the next episode of The Good Parts. Take care and bye for now.